Is happiness a trap? The happiness paradox. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I want you to do something for me right now. Think about your ultimate goal in life. The big one. If you had to boil it all down, what would it be? Your number one goal in life. Chances are, the word that just popped into your head was happiness. We're bombarded with it everywhere. Just be happy. Choose happiness. Buy this product for instant happiness. It's the default setting for a successful life. The finish line we're all supposedly running towards. But what if I told you that this relentless pursuit of happiness is actually making you miserable? What if our modern obsession with constant positivity is a philosophical trap, one that's been warned about for centuries? Stick around, because today we're diving into the dark side of happiness. We're going to explore philosophy's shocking truth, that the direct pursuit of happiness might be the very thing that destroys it. This isn't just self-help fluff, this is a mind-bending journey through the ideas of some of history's greatest thinkers. Let's get into it. Part 1, the hedonic treadmill, and why you can't win. Our first stop is a psychological concept called the hedonic treadmill. The idea is simple: we work incredibly hard to achieve a goal we believe will make us happy, a promotion, a new car, a relationship. And when we get it, we experience a spike of joy, a hit of dopamine. But it never lasts. Soon, we return to our baseline level of happiness, and our eyes are already on the next goal, the next purchase, the next life event. We're running as fast as we can, but we're not actually getting anywhere. This is the first crack in the happiness facade. It turns happiness into a reaction to external events, not an internal state. You become a puppet, and your strings are pulled by everything outside of your control. But this isn't just a modern psychological discovery. An ancient philosophy saw this coming from miles away. This is Stoicism. Philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius weren't against happiness. In fact, they sought a profound form of it, which they called eudaimonia, a state of flourishing and living in accordance with your true nature. But their path to it was counterintuitive. They argued that chasing pleasure and avoiding pain was a fool's game. Why? Because it makes you a slave to fortune. If your happiness depends on things you can't control, like your wealth, your reputation, or whether you get that promotion, you are setting yourself up for constant anxiety and disappointment. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." Cheery guy, right? But his point wasn't to be depressing. It was to be freeing. The Stoic answer wasn't to pursue happiness directly. It was to pursue virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. The byproduct of that life. A deep, resilient sense of fulfillment that no external event could take away. Happiness wasn't the goal, it was the result. And that is a massive, crucial distinction. Part 2, the poison of positive thinking. Fast forward a couple of millennia, and we've somehow done the exact opposite. We've created what's been called toxic positivity. The message is everywhere: you must be positive. You must eliminate negative emotions. If you're sad, anxious, or angry, it's because you're not trying hard enough to be happy. You have a bad mindset. This is where philosophy's dark truth gets even darker. By trying to force ourselves to be happy all the time, we are actively harming our mental health. This idea was brilliantly, and terrifyingly, explored by the modern philosopher Byung-Chul Han. He argues that our society has moved from a disciplinary society, which ruled with no and you must not, to an achievement society which rules with the far more insidious "Yes, you can. Yes, you must. Yes, you can." versus "No, you can't." We are no longer oppressed by an external ruler. We are the oppressors of ourselves. We exploit ourselves in the pursuit of optimization and happiness. We feel a constant pressure to perform, to be our best selves, to be productive, to be positive. And when we fail to be happy, we don't blame society. We blame ourselves. We see it as a personal failing. This leads to what Han calls exhaustion and burnout. It's not the sadness that hurts the most, it's the pressure to not be sad. It's the guilt we feel for feeling bad. The shocking truth here is that the constant command to be happy doesn't lead to happiness. It leads to what philosopher Eugene Thacker might call cosmic horror, but turned inward, a profound exhaustion with the self. Part 3, the value of negative emotions. So if forcing happiness doesn't work, what's the alternative? Do we just give up and embrace misery? Not at all. The alternative is to stop seeing so-called negative emotions as the enemy. This is where we meet our next philosopher, and he's a heavy hitter. This is Søren Kierkegaard, the father of existentialism. Kierkegaard was obsessed with anxiety, dread, and despair. But he didn't see them as disorders to be medicated away. He saw them as essential teachers. He called anxiety the dizziness of freedom. That feeling in your gut when you have to make a big life choice. That's not a sign you're broken. That's the thrilling, terrifying price of having free will. It's a signal that what you're about to do matters. And despair. He argued that the most common form of despair is not knowing you're in despair. It's numbing yourself with distraction, pleasure, and forced positivity so you never have to confront the truth of your own existence and your own possibilities. By trying to eliminate these difficult feelings, we are shutting down our internal guidance system. Sadness tells us we've lost something we value. Anger tells us a boundary has been crossed. Anxiety tells us we're facing something uncertain and important. These emotions aren't obstacles on the road to happiness, they are the very road signs themselves. To silence them is to drive through life with a blindfold on. The goal isn't to feel good all the time, it's to feel what is true. Part 4, the unexpected path, indirect pursuit. Okay, so if we're not supposed to chase happiness directly, what should we do? How do we actually live a good life? This is where all these philosophical threads come together into a practical, but challenging, approach. Happiness is like a cat. Try to forcefully call it to you, and it will run away. But if you go about your business, focused and engaged, you'll eventually look down and find it rubbing against your leg. Philosophers across time have pointed to a similar, indirect path. 1. Pursue meaning, not mood. This is the Stoic and existentialist lesson. Invest yourself in things that feel meaningful whether they make you happy or not. A cause, your craft, caring for your family, being a good friend. These activities are often difficult, frustrating, and exhausting. But they provide a deep sense of purpose that transient happiness never can. 2. Embrace your negative emotions. Take a page from Kierkegaard. When you feel anxiety, don't try to yoga breath it away immediately. Sit with it. Ask it, what are you trying to tell me? What freedom is making me dizzy? Practice emotional acceptance, not emotional avoidance. 3. Practice amor fati. This is a concept from Nietzsche. It means love of one's fate. Amor fati, love your fate. It doesn't mean you have to like everything that happens to you. It means to see every event, every failure, every moment of pain, as a necessary part of the tapestry of your life. Without that thread, you wouldn't be you. Seek not just to accept, but to embrace everything that has made you who you are. This is the ultimate antidote to regret and resentment. 4. Seek connection, not validation. Much of our pursuit of happiness is tied to external validation, likes, compliments, status. These are hedonic treadmill traps. True connection, being truly seen and understood by another person, and seeing them in return, is a cornerstone of the good life. It's often messy, vulnerable, and painful. And it's infinitely more valuable. Conclusion: a more honest happiness. Oh, what is the shocking truth? The dark side of happiness is that it's a selfish, fleeting, and often deceptive goal. The more we demand it of ourselves, the more it slips through our fingers. We've been sold a bill of goods that says happiness is a permanent state of positivity we can achieve, and if we haven't, we've failed. Philosophy tells us a different story. It tells us that a truly good life is not a flat line of constant pleasure. It's a rich, complex, and sometimes painful landscape of meaning. It's a life where we are fully human, capable of joy, yes, but also of grief, courage, anxiety, love, and despair. To cut out the so-called negative parts is to live a half-life. A shallow life. The goal isn't to be happy. The goal is to be whole. And perhaps, when we stop obsessively chasing the butterfly of happiness and instead tend to the garden of our life, with all its weeds and flowers, the butterfly will, of its own accord, come and rest on our shoulder. What do you think? Is the pursuit of happiness a trap? Have you found more fulfillment in pursuing meaning instead? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. This is one of those conversations that gets really interesting. If this video gave you a new perspective, then yeah, definitely give it a like, it really helps the channel out. And if you want to join us for more deep dives into philosophy that messes with your head, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Stay curious. And remember, it's okay not to be okay.